Toma. Gracias. ¿Tomamos un taxi o qué? Eso toma menos tiempo, pero ¿está bonito como para caminar?
Alice, I'm Maura from Spring Spanish. Y en este video hablaremos del súper común verbo tomar. We use this as much as English does, but since it's irregular and it can be reflexive, like tomarse, it can be a little annoying to learn. Que no cunda el pánico. Chunks to the rescue. Empecemos. Número 1. Conjugating tomar in the present tense.
Tómame una foto, porfa. Vale. Pero así súper tonta, como que no me tomo en serio. Es que tú no te tomas nada en serio. Algunas cosas sí, pero en general sí pienso que hay que tomarse la vida a la ligera.
Before we jump into it, I just have to make sure you've downloaded our free Essential Spanish Chunking Kit through that link in the description. You'll find chunks natives use every single day. Now, let's figure out that dialogue, shall we? Tómame una foto. Tómame is reflexive. Victoria used the root toma because she was talking to a tú. Then she added me, tómame, because she wanted me to take a picture of her. Así funcionan los verbos reflexivos. Their conjugation includes the person who you're talking to and the person who's affected by the verb. She could have also said, toma una foto. The only problem is that toma, by itself, doesn't specify who or what should be in the picture. No me tomo en serio. If you wanted to say this about him or her, for example, you would change the reflexive pronoun me to a se. Ella no se toma en serio. Él no se toma en serio. No te tomas nada en serio. This is the same but talking about tú. That's why we use te tomas. Hay que tomarse la vida a la ligera. Do you want to know something funny? En Venezuela decimos hay que tomarse la vida con soda. Or simply, tómatelo con soda. And it means the same thing. Now, let's look at a general table of conjugation for this quirky little verb in the present tense. Apréndete los chunks y úsalos con confianza. Yo tomo. Solo tomo taxis cuando estoy apurada. Tú tomas. Siempre tomas fotos bellas. Él, ella, usted, ello, toma. Él se toma las cosas muy en serio. Nosotros, nosotras, tomamos. Tomamos riesgos cuando es necesario. Ustedes, ellos, ellas, toman. Es mejor si toman clases en la noche. Número 2. Very common chunks with tomar. One of the good things about tomar is that you can use it almost exactly the same as you would use to take in English. There is one big difference though, which we will cover at the end.
Maura, apúrate, que se nos hace tarde. Nos va a tomar 10 minutos llegar y si salimos más tarde, yo pago el taxi, no te preocupes. ¿Segura? Mira que te tomo la palabra. Que sí, anda, tómate un break mientras yo termino.
In the previous examples, we've already seen chunks like tomar taxis, tomar riesgos, tomarse las cosas en serio, tomar fotos. But there are many others. Here are the chunks with tomar that we use the most. Nos va a tomar 10 minutos llegar. Notice the reflexive pronoun nos, which means I'm referring to us. Te tomo la palabra. Almost exact same idiom, right? ¿No les encanta cuando esto pasa? Again, we're using te before tomo because I'm talking about tú. Tómate un break. We could switch break for un descanso. Tómate un descanso. But I wanted to use break so you'll know this is one of those words that many Latin Americans would borrow from English. La mayoría de la gente citadina lo entiende. Outside the dialogue, we could also find la tercera toma es la mejor. Esto pasa en mi vida todo el tiempo. We also use this verb to talk about shots or takes you make while shooting something. Quiero tomar clases de boxeo. With classes, we do the same as English. We take them. Este fin de semana voy a tomar un baño largo y tendido. Chunk alert. ¿Pensaste que no íbamos a tener chunk alert? Well, we do. Largo y tendido can be used to talk about anything you want to do for a long and extended period of time. Usually we do this when it comes to talking, like, vamos a tomarnos un café y así podemos hablar largo y tendido. Número 3. When tomar is not to take in English. Toma. Gracias, pero acuérdate que yo no tomo café. Ay, ¿verdad? Pero si tomas té, ¿no? Sí, tomo té de cualquier tipo, de hecho, así que el que tengas está bien. Here's what's up. Toma. We used this in the first dialogue and we used it again here. You could certainly use take this to translate, but here might be a better fit. Nonetheless, every time you hand something to someone, you can simply say toma, or even ten. Now, let's talk about the big difference between both languages. Yo no tomo café, pero sí tomas té, ¿no? Sí, tomo té de cualquier tipo. All of these examples represent the same use of tomar, which does not translate as to take in English. Basically, we use tomar in Latin America to mean to drink. Spain does use this for everything you could have, whether food or drinks. Para mí, esto solo significa beber. Now that we've covered tomar, you should continue learning about important verbs in Spanish by clicking the image on the screen. You'll be directed to our verb playlist where there are many more verbs that you should know how to work in Spanish. Nos vemos!